We came upon the pirate vessel just after dawn. Her black flag was not raised, but every man aboard knew it was Teach. I hailed him, bidding him to surrender to His Majesty's service. He replied with curses and a blast of grape from his sloop's guns. It tore through the rigging and struck down several of my men. He shouted, "Damn you for villains! Who are you? And from whence came ye?" We returned fire. I ordered most of my men below, leaving only a few visible, to deceive him. Blackbeard, thinking us crippled, moved in to board. That was my intent. When he leapt aboard with his crew, I called up the rest of my men, and we engaged hand to hand. Blackbeard fought like a madman, tall, fearsome, his beard plaited and tied with ribbons, slow matches burning on his hat, smoke pouring round his face like the devil himself. He fired his pistols at close quarters and swung his cutlass with savage strength. He took 5 shots and 20 cuts before he fell. Even then, he fought on until he could no longer stand. After the battle, we found on his person several pistols, each loaded, and strange powders, some said for sorcery. His head we severed and hung from our bowsprit, as proof to the governors and the people. His reign was ended.
We sailed for Ocracoke under orders from Governor Spotswood, knowing the pirate Teach was anchored there. There were 2 sloops, the Jane and the Ranger, both under command of Lieutenant Maynard. We came upon the pirate sloop in the early morning. There was no wind, and the water lay still as glass. We rowed in under oar. Blackbeard hailed us with a voice that carried over the water, loud and rough. When told to surrender, he answered with a curse and fired first. Shot and small arms raked our decks. I saw one of our lieutenants fall with his face split open. Our men hid below as ordered, and when Teach boarded, thinking us nearly dead, we sprang upon them with cutlasses and pistols. There was a mighty struggle. The pirate crew fought like beasts cornered. Blackbeard himself stood near the mast. He was tall, with wild eyes and smoke pouring from his hat. He fired 2 pistols into our men, then swung a great cutlass, striking down a midshipman. Lieutenant Maynard and Teach met face to face and fought with swords. I saw Blackbeard take several wounds but still lunge forward. He bled much and staggered, but seemed not to feel pain. At last, Maynard struck him with a final blow, and several of us fired pistols at once. The pirate fell to his knees and died cursing. We counted 5 bullets and more than 20 cuts in his body. It was said the devil kept him alive through sorcery, but he died all the same.
Blackbeard's appearance alone struck terror in the hearts of honest men and hardened seamen alike. He would twist slow-burning matches into his thick black beard and light them before battle. Smoke would rise about his face, giving him the air of a fiend from the pit. At his death he fought with such fury that even when shot and slashed multiple times, he continued to press forward. His eyes, it is said, did not dim until the very end. The combat with Maynard was brutal and close. Blackbeard fired his pistols and threw them aside, drawing his cutlass. Maynard parried and cut, and the 2 men circled each other on a blood-slicked deck. Teach received no fewer than 5 gunshots and 20 wounds by sword, yet still he fought. At last, with one final lunge, Blackbeard fell forward and expired. When his body was searched, there were found upon him 3 loaded pistols, 2 knives, and various strange powders sewn into pouches about his waist, thought by some to be charms of protection. His head was severed and hung from the bowsprit, while his body was thrown overboard. The sailors swore it swam 3 times around the vessel before sinking. This tale, though fantastical, was told with certainty by those who had been there. Thus perished Edward Teach, called Blackbeard, a pirate so bold and feared that his name alone could empty a tavern or turn a merchantman back to port.
Dated October 6, 1718. Location, stationed at the Leeward Islands. May it please your lordships, I have the honour to acquaint you that Edward Teach, commonly called Blackbeard, continues to infest the Carolina coast with impunity. He commands a sloop called Queen Anne's Revenge, well armed and manned by near 40 men, mostly English and some Dutch. I am informed by several merchant captains recently arrived at Antigua that the said pirate boards vessels without cause, extorts provisions and coin, and sets them adrift. He has made shelter at Ocracoke and Bathtown, and it is strongly suspected he has dealings with certain Carolina merchants and magistrates, who profit from his depredations. The pirate is described as formidable in appearance, tall, black-bearded, and given to theatrics to terrify his prey. It is said he wears 6 pistols in a sash, and slow matches under his hat to cause smoke to rise from his person. I beg leave to report that the local militias are too poorly armed or unwilling to pursue him. If no Royal Navy force is sent to remove this menace, I fear the colonies will fall into further disorder and trade will suffer greatly. I remain your lordship's most obedient servant, Captain Ellis Brand, HMS Lyme.